Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Sohfatun. My student number is 2500004052. Today I want to read the title is The Science of the Focus in a Distract World. The attention crisis. Have you ever sat down at your desk full intending to spend the next 2 hours working on an important project, only to find yourself 20 minutes later scrolling endless talk, social media, or checking random news headlines? If this sounds familiar, you are far from alone. In today's hyper-connected world, our attention has become the most valuable commodity on the planet, and the thousands of tech engineers are working around the clock specifically to steal it from us. Research shows that the average human attention span has dropped significantly over the past decades. We check out our phones over 100 times a day, which does every few minutes, and often in an our workdays feeling completely exhausted yet wondering why we accomplished so little. In this video, we are going to explore the narcissist of focus, understand why modern technology makes it so hard to concentrate, and break down four scientifically proven strategies to help you rebuild your attention span and master the art of deep work. To fix our focus, we first need to understand what happens to our brains when we get distracted. Many people wear multitasking as a badge of honor. We like to believe that we can write an email, listen to a podcast, and answer a text message all the same time. However, cognitive neuroscience tells us a very different story. The human brain cannot actually focus on two complex tasks simultaneously. When you think you are multitasking, what your brain is actually doing is repeat task switching. You are jumping back and forth between different targets of attention at high speeds. Every single time you switch your attention from your main task, say writing a report, to check a brief notification on your phone, your brain inserts a cognitive penalty known as intention residue. Coined by researcher Sophie Leroy, attention residue means that a part of your brain's cognitive resources remains stuck thinking about the previous task, even after you have shifted back to the main one. If you check your phone for just 5 seconds, it can take up to 20 minutes for your brain to fully regain its original level of deep concentration. Imagine driving a car, slamming on the brake every 30 seconds, and then pressing hard on the gas again. You wouldn't get very far, and you will destroy your engine in the process. That is precisely that we do to our brains every single day when we allow constant interruptions. So, what actually happens in the brain when we are deeply focused? When you enter a state of deep concentration, often referred to by psychology as a flow stage, your brain activates the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for high-level decisions making, planning, and creating problem solving. At the same time, your brain suppresses the default mode network, which is the network responsible for mind wandering, self-doubt, and internet chatter. Biologically, deep focus triggers a process in your nervous system involving a chemical neurotransmitter called acetylcholine, like a highlighter in the brain, marking specific natural consumption that needs to be applauded and strengthened when combined with dopamine, the chemical driver of motivation and reward. Your brain undergoes neurology, literally rewiring itself to make the task you are practicing easy and more efficient over time. And a lot of people think they can do many things at the same time. They write and essay, listen to music, and text their friends at all at once. One day think this makes them productive, but there is the truth. Your brain cannot focus on two hard tasks at the exact same time. When you think you are multitasking, your brain is actually just jumping very fast from one thing to another. Switch to the phone, switch back to work, switch to TV, switch back to work. Scientists call this task switching. Every time you switch your attention, a small part of your brain stays stuck on the last thing you were doing. This is called attention residue. So, if you stop working for just 5 seconds to check a text message, your brain doesn't instantly come back to work. It takes a few minutes for your mind to get back into the zone. Imagine driving a car and stepping on the brakes every 10 seconds. You won't go very far and you will ruin your car. That is actually what happens to your brain when you keep checking your phone while trying to work. So, what happens when you actually focus on just one thing? When you work on the task without stopping, your brain gets into a state called flow. In this stage, words feel smooth, ideas come easily, and time seems to fly by. Your brain has chemicals that help you learn and build new habits. When you focus on your brain, build stronger paths for that skill. Think of your brain like a muscle. If you go to the gym and lift heavy weights every day, your muscles get stronger. And if you practice focusing every day, your concentration gets better and easy. But the opposite is also true. If you give in every distraction, you are basically training your brain to easily distracted. You're teaching your brain to get bored very quickly. The good news is, can you straight train your brain? Focus is not something you're born with. It is a skill you can build step by step. Now, let's look at 4 simple things you can do today to improve your focus. Tip 1. Hide your phone. Don't rely on willpower. Willpower is like a battery, it runs out by the end of the day. If your phone is sitting right next to on your desk, you will pick it up eventually. So, put your phone in another room or put it inside a bag. If you can see it, it is much easier to ignore it. The second is work in short blocks. Your brain cannot focus for 8 hours non-stop. Trying working for 55 to 60 minutes and then take 5 minutes break up. Last is learn to be bored whenever we will. It's like sit on a bus or wait for a friend. We instantly grab our phone because we hate being bored. Okay, maybe just it. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.